Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Jan Sewing Solutions. At the beginning of this video is a glimpse of this dress, this black dress. It's a footage from one of the older videos that I did back a good over a year and a half ago. I think it was at the beginning of 2014, and we are almost into April of 2015 now. Now I have this black dress that you're seeing on the table. I've worn this many times and I absolutely love it and adored it, probably because it had a very good fitting and it made me feel good because it made me look slimmer. So that was the first reason. And secondly, it's on merino and it was very comfortable. A couple of things that I sort of became displeased with, and I wanted to make a change to this dress. If I can find the lace, I would show the lace, but I don't know what I've done with it. Anyway, it had a rose, red and some other colours, maroon, silver, maroon trim at the bottom, and then roses lace. And I've taken the lace off this dress, and it also had slightly thin piping going around the neck. I've also taken that off. The reason why I took that off was because you know, if you watch my videos regularly, I often point out that around the neck, especially when you do inserts and cuts, always double stitch, because this is what happens. Sometimes just a little thing like this, a tear under the side, can actually ruin your garment, and this is exactly what's happened. The inside has the tearing has happened where I've probably cut close to the edge and I didn't probably double stitch it or whatever, or I've worn it several times as well. I've worn it for a very long time, so it could have been that the fabric has stretched slightly, and where it's had the pull, the stitching has torn away. But had that been double stitched all the way around, that would have eliminated that problem and I still would have retained a good neckline on this. Anyway, I wanted to do a reinvent on this outfit. I didn't want to just throw it away or put it in a charity bag, and you know how we all love something new, and I don't see this fabric hasn't bubbled or got spoiled at all, and the rest of the sewing is already done. Obviously I have overlocked the whole of inside of this, so a lot of the work is taken out, and of course I don't have to spend again, so it'll save me money as well. So I'm going to rejuvenate this dress, and I'm going to restyle it, but this time I'm going to go for an alternative. So I had one of these necklines lying around. Now there was a little bit of a flaw in this neckline, and basically the kind of neckline this was it had this sort of like a very big embroidered part, and the neckline is like this, and the neckline was basically attached to this. But if you place this on the garment, then you know the neckline didn't come into place. If I placed the neckline in place and if I placed the rest of the garment, then that was sort of going diagonal, and I didn't like the shape of that. So what I've done is I've cut into it, and I've taken the flowers out. Sometimes you have to do that in order to get, so I'm going to stitch the neckline back up and first of all reinforce that. Also I had red net sleeves on this. I've taken the sleeves off. I'm going to put black merino sleeves because I don't want to go for another color for the sleeves. I'm going to have, because the merino itself, they're comfortable. And then I'm going to stitch this onto this. First of all, I'm going to use some Wonder Web and iron it into place, and then stitch it all the way back, so down, and attach the neck piece, and then stitch over it. So it's going to give a complete new look to the dress. That's the first thing. So these necklines, often you can pick these up for a fraction of the price, and even if you were adding it to a new garment, or if you wanted to rejuvenate an old one, then this will do the job. To be honest, sometimes these type of necklines, they have a lot of embroidery on them and they tend to get ruined very quickly. I prefer to use this on the old fabric. I think they will have a similar, and I won't feel so bad when it goes to waste. So, and then the other thing which I'm going to do is I've taken the old border off, and I'm going to apply a 3-layer border at the bottom. So the initial one is going to be this color, and then I'm going to sort of finish this off in a multiple of colors. So I want to pick out the colors from the embroidery, and I'm going to create a nice wide thick border to go with this. So that's just an idea for anyone wanting to experiment and rejuvenate their old clothes and make them into new. So inshallah, what I will do is I will give you a sort of once I've finished, I will give you a look on how this turns out. Now the older sleeves, I have actually cut out new sleeves, but unfortunately what's happened is the fabric, probably this has been washed several times, probably in the washing machine, so the color on this has slightly, the new one has a slightly different color. Now I have got the option, I don't have to use the same material on the sleeves. There are numerous choices. I can make sleeves out of any of the colors of the embroidery, or even use chiffon sleeves. That's one of the beauties of the fashion of today, that there's no restriction on what can be used. You know, people have dresses with different color backs and so on. So there is that availability of so many choices that we can go for any. Now even the merino that I've got, I'll probably just finish it off at the front, and I very much doubt that you're going to be able to tell. And even if there is a slight difference in the shading, I really don't think it's going to really make a significant difference. So inshallah, I shall share the result with you once it's finished. I'm sure it's going to come out absolutely gorgeous, and I'm quite optimistic about, I'm actually quite looking forward to finishing it off and spoiling myself with an old suit that's reinvented.